What if people had learned to clone themselves in the 19th century? Imagine a world where scientists in the 19th century, inspired by early breakthroughs in biology, unlocked the secret to cloning. While real-life discoveries like cell theory were still emerging, this alternate timeline sees a brilliant mind, perhaps a forgotten contemporary of Darwin or Mendel, discovering a way to replicate human DNA long before modern genetics fully developed. The breakthrough would begin with livestock cloning. Farmers, amazed by their newfound ability to replicate their best cows and sheep, would eagerly adopt the technology. But soon, this innovation would lead to something far more controversial: the successful cloning of a human being. By the mid-1800s, powerful families might see cloning as a way to secure their legacy, a means of creating heirs that reflected their ideal qualities, ensuring dynasties maintained influence for generations. Cloning would likely emerge as a privilege reserved for the wealthy. Industrialists, aristocrats, and monarchs could replicate themselves, strengthening their family's grip on politics, business, and society. This divide would raise difficult questions. Would clones be treated as equal citizens or considered possessions? Would they inherit wealth or be seen as expendable counterparts to their originals? In industry, cloned workers might fill factories, designed to perform repetitive tasks with precision. The Industrial Revolution, already marked by grueling labor conditions, could have intensified with cloned labor, further widening the gap between social classes. In European courts, cloned monarchs might dominate royal families. Queen Victoria, for example, could have filled her court with identical versions of her heirs, groomed from birth to ensure the British Empire remained stable for decades. In Russia, the Romanovs may have used cloning to secure their dynasty. Meanwhile, powerful industrial families in America could have employed clones to manage business empires, ensuring key decisions remained within trusted circles. In politics, cloned candidates may have emerged to dominate elections, ensuring a single influential figure maintained power indefinitely. As cloning spread, ethical debates would intensify. Religious leaders would likely question whether cloned individuals possessed souls. Philosophers would ponder whether a cloned mind could truly develop its own identity, or if it was merely a reflection of the original. Legal battles may have erupted over clone rights. Could a clone inherit property? Could they be considered independent citizens, or merely extensions of their original selves? The very concept of human identity would face unprecedented scrutiny. For ordinary citizens, cloning would inspire both fascination and fear. Black market services may have emerged, offering desperate families the chance to restore lost loved ones or replicate influential figures. This shadow industry could have fueled troubling practices. Some groups may have cloned individuals without their consent, creating unethical impersonation schemes or exploiting clones as scapegoats for crime. Meanwhile, cloned soldiers may have been trained for battle. Military leaders, desperate for strategic advantages, may have sought to build armies of identical troops, trained to follow orders without question. Despite the ethical challenges, cloning would have revolutionized medical science. Researchers might have used cloned cells to test treatments, accelerating the understanding of diseases. Physicians could have practiced complex surgeries on cloned models, improving outcomes for real patients. The wealthy may have even commissioned organ clones, genetically identical bodies designed to provide life-saving transplants. Such advancements might have dramatically increased life expectancy, raising questions about the morality of extending life through cloned biology. Art and entertainment would have been profoundly changed. Imagine if Beethoven had cloned himself, continuing to compose new symphonies long after his original lifetime. Authors like Charles Dickens may have published endless novels across generations, while cloned actors could have dominated theater stages. Fame itself would be transformed. Instead of new stars emerging, entire industries might have been filled with repeated faces, cloned celebrities maintaining influence for decades. By the early 20th century, cloned populations may have begun to challenge social norms. Treated as second-class citizens, or even property, clones might have demanded recognition and rights. Underground movements may have formed, with cloned individuals seeking independence and equality. Some communities may have established isolated settlements, building new societies designed to protect their identity and autonomy. A powerful clone leader, perhaps a copy of a wealthy industrialist or influential monarch, may have emerged to unite these groups, pushing for change and reshaping social structures. In time, cloning may have proven unsustainable, While identical in body, cloned individuals would develop unique experiences and identities. The pressure to fill predefined roles may have led to unrest, as cloned populations rejected societal expectations. Governments may have eventually restricted or banned cloning altogether, dismantling cloning facilities in an effort to restore social order. Cloned individuals could have faced persecution, forcing many to live in secrecy or adopt new identities. Yet even as society attempted to erase this chapter of history, the effects would linger. Cloned individuals, having developed distinct personalities and identities, would carry their stories forward, a reminder of a world shaped by genetic innovation. In the aftermath of cloning's rise and fall, the world would be transformed. Genetic science would be decades, or even centuries, ahead of its time, advancing medical treatments, agriculture, and biology. But cloning would leave behind deeper questions about identity, individuality, and what it truly means to be human. The world would be marked by the memory of cloned leaders, cloned artists, and cloned soldiers, some remembered as symbols of power, others as reminders of rebellion and resilience. Even as cloning faded from public life, whispers would remain. Some might claim that cloning never truly ended, that secret societies continued the practice, ensuring certain bloodlines endured for generations. In this world of endless copies, one truth would remain: true uniqueness, shaped by experience, choice, and individuality, would always define what it means to be human.